Hello, the doc is in and welcome back to another chapter of Tokyo Revengers, chapter 274, No Holding Back. In the last chapter, we get further into Shinichiro's backstory. We get to see effectively exactly how the timeline plays out. We see Mikey have his first incident, well, not first incident of Dark Impulses, but we get to see some of the incident between Mikey and Sanzu. Sanzu turns out to be the trigger for Shinichiro. We see Shinichiro decide to give his powers to Takemichi. We see that day where Takemichi tried to fight off the bullies for Hinata, and Kisaki was watching on from the distance. Shinichiro was also there, and that is when he got his time leaping powers. Chapter starts off, it's August 13th, 2003. Shinichiro goes to go find the old man. He cannot find him. And then we see him go to his bike shop, right? And he's like, oh, someone's trying to rob me. And then that's when he sees Banji, and you have Kazutora come in, cracks Shinichiro upside the head. He goes down, and then we get a flash of the old man that he killed cursing him. And then we see the weird dark tendril thing come to Kazutora, and as he's saying, it wasn't me, I didn't kill him. And he says, it's all Mikey's fault. We see like the dark shading and everything. The dark impulse visage flow around him as he starts saying that. And Shinichiro, as he bleeds out, thanks karma. And so we see Mikey in present time say, a couple of days after you gained that ability, Shinichiro died. And everybody hears this. Alright, everybody's pretty shocked. At this point, it seems like all the important characters are watching on now, and kind of like, I guess everybody just knows. Everybody gets to know the deets. And so, basically, Mikey explains, basically, Shinichiro was cursed. Because of the curse that was upon Shinichiro for killing the old man, that caused dark impulses to flow around the people around Mikey, since that's the person he was trying to save. And so that's what caused Kazutora to kill Shinichiro and go crazy in a sense. And then that is also why Mikey has these weird sudden outbursts out of nowhere. I suppose that previously he did have like a tendency for this stuff, but since he died and the karma was coming after Mikey, that's what caused him to like really like go fully crazy. Like that's why when he attacks Sanzu, it doesn't seem like it makes sense. It's because it's not supposed to make sense, because he's cursed, that he gets taken over and just does, he just goes on a rampage. And so Mikey says, like, I've been carrying this karma for a long time and I could barely control it, and that's exactly why I pushed all you guys away, because if I let you guys be close, then you guys would feel the effects of these dark impulses. And as he's talking, he even says, like, in this very moment, I feel like I'm gonna go berserk again. And Takemichi's like, well, you don't have to hold back anymore. Second generation Tokyo Manji gang is here to save you. So release your dark impulses and we'll handle them together. Right here, right now, surpass your limits. I don't think that's from this manga, but it applies in this scenario. So Takemichi says, hey, I can see the future. I'll figure it out right here and crush your dark impulses. And you see the light come back into Mikey's eyes, and you see Sanzu start crying at like the revelation that, oh hey, Takemichi saying that he can save Mikey from these dark impulses. I'm guessing, well, actually no, theory section. So from there, he says, Mikey, let go and allow your dark impulse to take hold. And that's when we see his eyes dark over, and he's like, well, I don't care about you guys anyway. And so then the dark impulses fully take over and the fight begins. Well, it doesn't begin, but the fight's gonna begin in the next chapter. And that's the end of the chapter. So mixed feelings on this chapter. It's interesting. I don't dislike it, but I'm not also sure if I like this either. It's a bit odd. I mean, okay, explanation in terms of like, oh, it's a curse and that's why everything happens. Cool, but it feels like it kind of like strays pretty far away from the grassroots of the story of it being like, oh, the only supernatural part is that Takemichi can go back in time and stuff, and maybe there's other time leapers and stuff. But for the most part, it is a realistic drama where these are gang members, they have bad past, they have problems, and here's how they deal with them. And Takemichi, coming from an older age, having a second chance at life, is going to help them, figure their lives out, So for Mikey, and by extension Kazutora's main faults, like we say, Kazutora, after going to jail, he gets back to normal, he becomes a better person, whatever. Like, to say after the fact that, oh, well, actually, he was just previously infected by dark impulses. And I guess when he was in jail, he's no longer infected by dark impulses. And not Takemichi, but Mikey is now infected by dark impulses as well, not now, but is being taken over by the dark impulses rather, not his, the dark impulses at this point. And that's why he does evil things in the future, not because he's a bad person, but because of that. Well, given we didn't really think Mikey was necessarily a bad person, but yeah, like, it has nothing to really do with him. I mean, I suppose that makes sense. But on the other hand, I'm like, is that satisfying? And I don't know. I don't know that that's very satisfying. I can't say that I like the idea that there isn't some sense of like, oh, Mikey just needs to develop as a person, and Takemichi is going to help him develop as a person. Kind of basically, let's say Taiju, and Izana to a certain degree, but Taiju especially, I feel like he's like a really good example. Bad person, right? He gets in a fight, he loses the fight. From there, he takes a new perspective on his life, and maybe he doesn't like immediately become a different person, but he becomes somewhat better. He leaves the gang, he's no longer fighting or whatever, and we see in one future he ends up becoming a successful businessman. That's the kind of idea I went with. That's the kind of idea I thought I was going to be getting into with all the villains, where, some of them died, some of them whatever. But with Mikey, I thought, okay, the idea is going to be that Takemichi, using the future sight and everything, he's able to beat Mikey, knock him down, and make him see the stars, and then he's going to have a revelation, or maybe in a little bit of talk no jutsu, and then something else or whatever. Maybe everybody speaks their heart to Mikey, and maybe he realizes, you know what, I don't need to be strong, I can leave the gang life, whatever. Look at that. That would have been great. Or maybe another time travel thing, I don't know, something. But we're saying that, oh, Shinichiro was just cursed, and that's why Mikey's evil. So basically, Mikey's not even evil, it's just Shinichiro did a bad thing one time and cursed his whole family. I mean, I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about this. Also, by extension, it's basically redeem Sanzu, because in essence, that means that all his craziness about Mikey having dark impulses and him always being destined to be evil or whatever, it wasn't because Sanzu was from the future or anything. It was just because Sanzu knew about, pieced together the whole dark impulse situation. And so, because he was just such a ride or die friend, dedicated his entire life to being the one person who Mikey would always have by his side, I guess, besides Kazaki before he died. So once again, I don't know how I feel about that, because that basically means Sanzu didn't do any, the idea that the dark impulses are not a internal thing but an external thing basically wipes out a lot of external factors, and the idea that he was surrounded by the wrong crowd and stuff. It was just a curse. Just a curse. Not even Mikey's fault. It had almost nothing to do with him outside of the fact that he's just related to Shinichiro and the person he went to save. But outside of that, yep, that's it. They're just cursed. It's come on. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, very mixed feelings. Maybe in the following chapters, I'll feel a little bit better about it. As it stands right now, I'm like, kind of getting rid of the stakes, because it suggests that if Takemichi is able to break the curse somehow, then he'll go back to the future, everything will be fixed, and everybody will be fine. I mean, people will be still dead, but that'll be that. And it's like, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's it for the chapter. I don't think there was anything else particular to be discussed. And yeah, leave a like a video if you like the video, leave a dislike if you dislike. Comment, what do you guys think of this, the decision to make the dark impulses a curse rather than any internal conflict or therapy session fix, but specifically like a time leap or issue to resolve? What do you guys think of that? I think it's a little bit weird. I reserve the right to change my opinion, either super no or super yes, once the manga ends in a couple of chapters. But you guys, leave me your guys' thoughts below. And feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos like these for the last couple of chapters for Tokyo Revengers, along with other series that I will be covering on my channel. And I'll be probably adding some more soon to replace this one as well. Thank you for watching the video, and the doc is out. Peace.